as mentioned earlier, we need to use proper words to fill in the gaps. So in this grammar review, we are looking at the relative clauses which would be related to the sentence that is given with the gap in it. So there has to be a relation between the sentence that is given to us and the clause that we use in order to complete the sentence. So we will have another example of it here. Whose car is that? It belongs to the man, gap, next door to me. So the choices given are, let us look at the choices. Who lives, which lives next door to me. So the answer would be B and A. Both are correct. The clause is defining the man, so we can't use a comma. We don't use which for people. So because in this particular slide, we are not showing a comma, which should have been there. Actually, it is probably a misunderstanding due to which the comma is not there. But if there is a comma, then we cannot use who lives. If we are putting a comma between who and lives, then we will not use that who lives. Instead, we just have to use who lives next door to me, and that will be the relative clause that we will be using in order to have the correct answer. So in this case, the correct answer will be B. So let us look at the sentence which we are completing. It belongs to the man who lives next door to me. So that completes the sentence, and the relative clause would be who lives, because who lives is related to the man, and it is also related to the rest of the part of the sentence, next door to me. So this man who lives, so this defines the man, so it becomes a relative clause to the sentence, first part of the sentence, and who lives where? Next door to me. So that is why this becomes the appropriate selection to complete the sentence using the relative clause. Why do we call it a relative clause? Because it is related to the part of the sentence which gives a meaning by adding a relative clause to it. When we are adding a relative clause, we need to be very careful with the punctuation. Also, if there is a comma or a full stop in between the relative clause, it may change the meaning of the sentence. Also, we cannot use which is not used for man, and that is why we are not going for the option which lives next door to me, because for the man we can't use which, because we don't use which for people. We use who for people because that is the correct English to be used for people. So we will not be using the third option, which is which lives next door to me.